Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review INXS's 1990 album X. It's pretty good, definitely one of their standout albums here. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist. 8 out of 11, so most of them here. The opening to this album is really great. First 3 tracks provide an upbeat but still kind of reflective sound to help start off the flow. The middle is a little bit slower or boring, and a little bit more boring, but it picks back up at the end of the album. The back halves, tracks 7 through 11, are all really good. Each track is a similar style, but still relatively unique. The sound's pretty consistent, but also not boring throughout the album, which is really good. The album flows pretty well. It starts off decently high energy, slows down a bit, and then picks up again at the end, although it ends slower than it started, so it's kind of a down, up a little bit, but not quite as high. Most of the songs are pretty good. They're all high-quality rock pop tracks. Still sounds pretty new wavy here in 1990, which I like and appreciate. Their sound has evolved a little bit in the past decade from their first album, but not a ton, and it still sounds like them, just better. The songs aren't super high speed, but they have a good range between sort of upper mid-speed and lower mid-speed. They're all kind of in the middle there. But overall, I would say definitely a good album, with most of the tracks being pretty good. There was only one single released before the album, the opening track, Suicide Blonde, which was one of them on the radio at the time, and is my favorite here. It's definitely one of the best tracks on the album, a step above the rest of the songs in quality. Definitely the big hit here. Sounds like something on their previous album, X, which is really great. I rank this album 4th out of INXS's 11 albums, so in the kind of the middle of the top half. This album is basically the best of their really good albums. All the albums above this I think are great and don't really have any bad sections. X has kind of like one sort of boring bad section, but the overall quality is high and the rest of the tracks easily make up for it. This is basically a more experienced, higher quality version of most of their 1980s albums, like Underneath the Colors and Listen Like Thieves. It doesn't quite capture the greatness of their top 3 albums, but it's clearly better than most of their standard catalog. Additionally, this album is my favorite from 1990, beating out just Duran Duran's 1990 album Liberty. Liberty is alright, but not really good, and X clearly has a higher level of quality and consistency than Liberty, so it easily takes this spot. Next up is the Velvet Underground's self-titled 1969 album, so it's called The Velvet Underground. Not to be confused with their debut album, The Velvet Underground and Nico, which released in 1967. The fact that they have 2 albums that are just named after them is pretty confusing, but at least they have 2 different names, kind of. So stay tuned for that, and as always, stay minty.